Although China has been on the rise in economy, architecture, and technology, one thing remains the same, and that is tradition. In the heart of Shanghai, here in People's Square, this certain tradition called the Shanghai marriage market has always remained and always will. What is the Shanghai marriage market? It's a place in Shanghai where parents or grandparents, aunts, and uncles will go to find a spouse for their son, daughter, granddaughter if they're not married by a certain age. They will come to the People's Square and they will put hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of umbrellas with advertisements on their child or grandchild and what kind of spouse they are looking for. Also, other parents and grandparents will come and also try and talk to and find a potential spouse for their child as well. So, in a way, it is its own sort of matchmaking service by the parents. I had the pleasure of talking to someone who she did not want to be on camera during the interview, but her name is Mrs. Hu, Ichiu, and she told me that this is an obligation. What she does is they will put their child's information on top and sometimes a picture, and then they will also give a description of the potential spouse that they are looking for their kid. She told me that this is an obligation for the parents. If they are not married by the age of 24, they feel that they should step in and try and help facilitate into a future and a marriage. She told me that matchmaking has been a tradition in China since the Zhou dynasty thousands and thousands of years ago. And I know what you're all thinking. Matchmaking in China, only one thing comes to mind.
Fa Mulan.
Mrs. Hu told me that part of Chinese tradition is a lot of kids feel that once they reach a certain age, because parents have provided for them for so long, their entire lives, it's their turn to provide for the parents. So typically expectation is to be married between, at least before the age of 24. If you're not married by that age, then that's when the parents and families step in and they kind of form their own matchmaking services as well. Especially even though with the rise of dating apps, it kind of makes things a little difficult, and some may feel that this process is a little outdated, but it is still tradition. Because it can be seen outdated, success rate at the marriage market is actually very low. One good thing that comes from it is the socializing. A lot of people have made friends with each other, and it is almost like their own close-knit community. They find out everything about their week, their day, and if there is a success story, they want to keep in touch for future inspiration and just to enjoy the success. I asked Mrs. Hu if she ever thought that the Shanghai marriage market would ever become obsolete with the rise of technology and dating apps, and she disagrees. She thinks that so long as there are people who need to be married, tradition will always prevail. And especially even though that the two-child policy is barely a year old, there's still plenty of time to marry off the child during the one-child policy law. So she's very confident and she's hopeful and she wishes the absolute best for everyone involved. Although parents want to help, it just adds to the pressure of kids in order to
Please bring honor to us, 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 please bring honor to us.
Thank you all for the gifts and the flowers. Thank you all. Now it's back to the showers. Don't tell Paul, but I'm not getting married today.